1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I don't know why it does that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Hello, hi everyone. Hello, 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 hello. I'm just wondering, that's a new chat. I was wondering if it's an old chat or a new chat. Hello everyone. Hi, can you hear me? Can you tell me if you can hear me fine? Let me know. I can see you on a chat. Hi. Hi Sandra. Hi Sylvia. Hi Dewey Cat. Can you give me a shout? Can you just type if you can hear me okay? Hi. Okay, I think you can hear me. Lovely. As usual, I had some issues with Wirecast because why not? This just happens on a weekly basis these days. So fingers crossed, we'll be fine. So just a quick half an hour demo to show you how to cast your resin pieces and what do I do and you know what kind of lovely, thank you. What kind of supplies I use and what kind of health and safety precautions I take to make sure that obviously I'm doing it safely, because you are playing with chemicals and you know you need to be very careful not to get anything in your eye, not to get like contact dermatitis or anything of this sort. So I'm going to show you 3 things today. I am going to show you how to cast resin with clear long setting resin, which is ice resin. I'm going to show you how to make your embellishments with paper clay. Although I have never used paper clay, so it's going to be interesting for both of us to find out how that actually works. But I'm also going to show you how to cast with something that I cast most frequently with, and that is with kind of white setting resin. I am going to show you the bottles, and I'm also going to tell you where to get those things. I'm not going to be stocking majority of those products. Actually, that's not true, because I'm probably going to be stocking about half of them. Hi Sue, hi Susie, hello. Okay, so let's go through the general setup first. So the general setup, I do, obviously we are in the kind of a little bit of a recording studio we have going on now. But the general setup for your resin casting is you obviously need your molds. There are 2 types of molds that I tend to use. One is one of those soft silicone molds. You can get it from anywhere. You can get it off eBay. You can get it off any shop, like you can get it from Hobbycraft, and any Sugarcraft molds will work. They're very soft. They're not going to last you as long as some other molds. I mean, I talk from a perspective of someone who casts this mold, for example, 50 times, who casts that frame inside about 50 or 60 times when I do however many, for example, limited edition limited edition box frames. So that was the one that I used. You also have some other molds. So for example, Prima has just released they released a bunch of, I think there's about 10 of those beautiful molds. They are, I think they might be still on their website and they may be sold out, but what actually I have ordered a bunch directly from Prima, so they will be on the website. If you missed out, just give me a week or 2 and they will be back on the website. Hi Julie, hi Laura. Okay, so that's the molds. You can get the soft one and the Prima hard one, and I'll probably just cast something in the Prima one or in the keyhole one because they're beautiful. So you obviously need the mold and you need the resin. The resin, there are several types of resin, and there are way more types of resin than what I'm going to show you. These are the ones I use, these are the ones I like. So the resin number 1 that I use the most frequently is a resin by Polycraft. It is Polycraft, hold on, Polytech. Anyway, the company or the resin, whatever it's called, it is MB Fiberglass. And the website is here. I'm not going to be stocking this, so please go ahead and go purchase from them directly. The website for this particular one that I'm using, that comes in 2 parts, like this, is www.mbfg.co.uk. They've got really quick delivery. the fairly reasonable prices. I think that these are their own resins anyway. So that's what I'm using for casting the white kind of opaque embellishments. And this particular one, I can put I can tell you exactly what it is. It's called Polytech Easy Flow 120 PU Roto Casting. That's the one I'm using. And I'll show you how to use this and how quickly it actually sets. I've never heard of iron orchid molds, Julie. Are they good? Oh, okay, good stuff. Just reading your chat. The other resin that I can highly recommend is the ice resin. So let me just summarize this one again. That this one takes about 15 minutes to set. It is still very pliable after not pliable. It is quite soft after 15 minutes. After about 30 minutes, it's rock solid hard. It just gets really heated up and gets white and it's set. The ice resin sets in about 8 to 12 hours. It is a jewelry. I can't speak clearly. You know what I mean. Jewelry. I read it. It's a jewelry type resin, a grade resin. It's clear. This company that was doing the ice resin, Susan Leinart, Casma, the lady who created the ice resin, her company have been absorbed by Ranger recently, and Ranger obviously, we know all about Ranger. So I will show you what comes in this kit as well. And the third one is the paper clay, which is kind of no resin, but different type of products. Okay, so let's start with the ice resin, because I am going to be using some of the things that are actually inside. Ice resin pack that I have. So the one I showed you a moment ago, the one that sets very quickly, is from the website that I've mentioned, www.mbfg.co.uk. This one I got from Amazon. It's not the cheapest. There are probably cheaper places, maybe directly from US. Would be cheaper getting that. It does come in a proper kit. When this company was not part of Ranger, the kit was slightly less how do I say it? It was slightly less elaborate, I guess. You now get plastic spatulas and you get much bigger cups than what you were used to getting, and much better quality. They were very soft. To a degree, I like soft cups actually. And then you get 2 bottles of resin. That hasn't changed. It comes in 2 parts, and you have to mix them in 1-to-1 ratio, just like the other one from just like the quick setting one. And you get 2 nozzles as well. And the nozzles have caps, so you can very safely just take your screwy off, and then just put this one on and just keep it this way. It doesn't affect the resin. As long as there's no dusting, you'll be fine. All right. Okay, just looking. These are the ones that I was using. They're about Prima. Oh, okay. Now, health and safety. I think this is really important. I am quite prone to contact dermatitis. Therefore, I am going to be, kind of going on about this, and forgive me, but I think this is very important when you're playing with chemicals. As you probably know, I used to work as a nail technician in my other life, and dealt with a lot of chemicals and resin type of substances, and that's how I acquired contact dermatitis. So I know firsthand how careful you need to be with those things. So, that said, the very first thing I would do on your surface is to put some kind of protective surface on. If you want to use your non-stick mat, go ahead. One of those, brown non-stick mats, that's fine. But if you have a little cut or a little prick on it, then your resin will get into this, and it will just kind of set in it, or will just get gooey and horrible. So I tend to use something I can dispose of. So forgive me this horrible bag, but there is method in this madness. I am actually going to afterwards just to chuck it. Another thing you should have is a little bit of paper towel. I think I've got some tissues around. I didn't bring them to this part of the household. And then the final thing that I would very, very strongly recommend you to get are latex gloves. I think that part is very important. You shouldn't really get those chemicals on your skin. Don't. Be careful. Look after yourself and after your skin. So it's almost like an operation, you know, like a surgery. So, and then what you will do, if you get any of the resin, either cured or uncured, on the gloves, you're just going to take them off just like that, you know, kind of wrap around, chuck them in a bin. Just buy yourself one of those boxes of disposable gloves if you're going to be doing any more of that, and, you know, be careful. Okay, now, so I'm going to take, I was dying to use these lovely keyholes, so that's what I'm going to do. Now my resin usually goes everywhere, and what I have done also to prevent this is I bought a little silicone cap, one of those silicone measuring caps. Unfortunately, they're quite pricey, and they do have a fairly limited lifespan, especially with the white resin, because it sets so quickly. It will set in a cup, and you can only clean it that much, and then you get more and more buildup of resin. So we will see how we get on with those caps. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to take, I'm going to take one of those cups. I was just banging on about how sophisticated the setup is, and they're really hard stuck together. But they're quite pliable, so I may just have a little bit of luck with pouring that in. You will see, I'm a disaster when it comes to pouring my resin. Okay, so I'm going to use, first thing I'm going to use is the white opaque fast casting resin. You need a stirrer of sorts. Hi ladies. Hi Michelle. Hi Nikki. Hi Amelia. Okay, so you need a stirrer, and you need your cup with the measuring bits on it, and then you're going to pour your resin. So I'm probably going to do which one's safe? Let me have a look. I'm going to do 15 and 30. Yes, I'm going to do 15 mil, and then I'm just going to put a little more to put it to 30. Oh, here we go. So that's 15 of part A, I believe. There's part A and part B. I usually don't really care about which one I put in first, because I put them in quite quick succession. Oh, here we go. And then another one. Okay, give them a good mix. You see, I already sprayed it everywhere. And a little more. So I'm just going to give a good mix. Here we go. Until it goes clear. But I can see I've cross-contaminated the bottles, which is fine. It's not going to make a massive difference. That's just shooting everywhere. Okay. Here we go. And just going to now pour that into the mold. And usually I pour just enough so that it kind of self-levels. And then I'll probably pour some in some other areas. You do have to work quite quickly. You've got about 2 minutes working time with this resin. And you should have a fairly flat surface as well, because obviously otherwise that resin is going to go absolutely everywhere. Which one do we like? Do we like this one? Let's just do this one. You can already see, I'm not sure if you can see, but this resin is already setting. It's just going to be hard in no time. And you see, even though I tried really hard, my gloves are wet, and the area here is wet. So it's all going to, you know, it would all normally be on my skin. So here we go. Okay. I've been waiting for Anna to show us what's what. Is it a strong smelling resin, Anna? No, not at all. The one I've just used isn't smelling, it doesn't smell at all. And that's the good thing. That's the reason why I use this particular one, because if I cast a lot of stuff, I obviously don't want to get stench around me. Does that make sense? Okay, it was funny because like a number of viewers just dropped for a minute, and then I just realised, duh, the January craft box just went on sale because I just beautifully planned it at exactly the same time. So my apologies. Hopefully there will be enough for everyone. Okay, so the other resin I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the clear resin. So I'm just going to change my gloves. Yes, I've got plenty of those because, as I said, I do, you know, a fair amount of resin casting. And here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to change my gloves and I'm just going to use the ice resin now. Okay, it's like a doctor. Right, so with the ice resin, you just got to press it quite hard, get the cap off, and then you need to pierce it with some kind of sharpish tool. I probably will just use one of those. Okay, and then pop the thing with the red cup on. That's part B, which is the hardener. You do exactly the same with part A. Again, you've got to pierce the protective film on top. Oh, here we go. Okay. And then you will take that off. There is a little safety thing. So you actually need to cut this off, and you get a little measure, so you know exactly how far down you can cut it. So you just cut it like that. I would suggest not to cut it to the very line though, because then it's quite hard to put the red cap back on. Okay, and then you will pour that into your cup, and again I will probably do the same quantities. So we'll do 15 ml and then 30 ml, just checking where it is, 1.5. So I'm just going to eyeball, hold on, this is part B. Let's do it properly. You put part A to start with, hence it says A. It's quite thick. So I would suggest that you put it on the table and just let it self-level. Okay, that's part A for you. And then pop the little cup back on, clip, and then part B. Okay. And again, put a little cup back on, clip, take a little stirrer, ideally like a clean one, not cross-contaminate the resins. Now, with the ice resin, it's actually got a bit more smell than the other one, but it's not a very strong one, and it's not like a very unpleasant one. I thought ice resin was equal quantities of part A and yes, it is, and I've put equal quantities. Sorry, did I not say equal quantities? It is. The ice resin dries clear, doesn't it, Kim? How would you colour it? I'm going to answer that question in a second. But Kim, yes, I'm sorry if I said that it's not equal quantities. Yes, it is. It is equal quantities for both those resins that I'm using today. So the question was, how would you colour the ice resin? The ice resin, the Ranger has the Ranger colorants. And yes, Kim just said a couple of drops of acrylic paint, and that's correct. I also very successfully used Ranger's reinkers, the water-based. Obviously, they are water-based, and I didn't have any problems. You do need to be careful, maybe not to overdo this, but I didn't have any. Generally, I didn't have any problems with that. With the ice resin, what the ice resin people say, you need to stir it for about 2 minutes. And then you need to let it sit for a moment. It doesn't obviously dry or set as quickly. You can see these bits are already setting very quickly, and it doesn't set as quickly. The air bubbles should have the time to go up and then kind of, you know, pop on the surface. I'm going to be honest, I have never been very successful in not having any air bubbles. I think this just requires some kind of magical wizardy powers. But then again, I never said I was a resin expert. But yeah, you should mix this until the mixture is actually clear. And to start with, you will feel a little bit of resistance because part A is quite thick comparing to part B. And then What was the name of the first kit you used, Anna? Okay, sorry, I'm just going to answer Michelle's question. The name was Polytech Easy Flow 120 PU Roto Casting. And you can get that one that comes in 2 parts, it comes in different sizes, and you can get this from mbfg.co.uk website. They're great, they've got good delivery, etc. Alright, I'm just going to give this a little bit more mix. I'm going to stop playing with the whole air bubble situation. And I'm just going to mix. Mix. It's like watching the paint to dry. Honestly, it is. So I have put here about 30 milliliters of part A. Well, not about. I have put 30 milliliters part A and 50 milliliters of part A and 15 milliliters of part B. The reason why I said 30 is because I went to 15 with part A and to up to 30 with part B. That's how my brain works these days. Okay, so I'm going to continue mixing this. Alright, just going to carry on for a little bit longer, and then I will let it sit for a moment, probably just to get some air bubbles, and see how we're going to get on with the air bubble reduction this time. Let's just give it a whirl and see how we get on. Okay, put it to the side. The third thing I have is the clay, the paper clay. The paper clay by Prima. It comes wrapped like this. Let's just give it a whirl together, shall we? I've never used this one. I know for a fact you need to be very careful not to let it dry, because obviously it's an air dry clay. So you should be fairly careful with how you're opening this. Maybe not, because that's just sealed shut, that is. Okay, there's a little slit in here. Okay. I think the best thing would be to open this up and then use an IKEA bag just to make sure that you'll seal it shut and not let any air in. Okay, so I will try to open this up and take a little bit of clay and start to work it. Okay, just going to take a little bit. It's already pre-mixed for you. I'm just going to leave it open just a moment whilst I'm doing this demo. It's already pre-mixed for you, but you're just going to do that and make sure it's a bit more pliable. It will take a little bit of heat. I love paper clay. It's really light for card making, postcards, yeah. And I said the first one she used doesn't have Caroline. Is that a smell? It doesn't. Has the resin got a strong smell? No. The one I'm using, the one by I want to say Polytech, but yeah, the Polytech Easy Flow really doesn't, and that's main reason why I use it. I did buy some other resins which were much cheaper, which come in like a metal bottle with a very tiny plastic bottle, and then you mix it in different ratios, but they've got such a crazy stench. I can't possibly work with it, and I just worry what it does to my body and my lungs, to be honest. So I prefer to spend a little bit more and just buy the one that doesn't smell. To be fair, it's all chemicals, you know, you always should be careful, but I don't know, it just when it really stinks, obviously makes you wonder what it does to your insides. Okay, so just giving this a little bit of heat. Make sure you add a moist baby wipe. Oh, good idea, thank you. That's a very good idea. I'm just looking at your comments. Oh, yeah, the strong smells kick off the migraines. Yeah, my husband's suffer from migraines as well. Okay, I think this is pliable enough, so I'm just going to take a little bit and just gonna put it in the... I have probably put a little bit too much. But I'm putting this in the Prima mold, and Prima molds, I think, you know, they were actually made for this paper clay, because obviously the paper clay is from Prima and the molds are from Prima, because they are just so thick and sturdy. And you know, you from the very, hold on, let me just take something. I did have something sharpish. I just want to uncover this little hole here. Just to get that. Here we go. Okay, and the benefit of using a paper clay is that you can pretty much take it out straight away. You obviously have to be super careful. Let me try that. Hold on, I'm just going to flatten this out. It's probably not the best cast, but it is my very first one when it comes to paper clay. So let's try this again. Whoa! And I actually dropped it in the middle of the resin, but the resin is now set. Okay, I'm going to try a little more detailed now. A little more detailed. I sense that everyone who's watching is on subscription because everyone's very chilled. I can see emails popping out from customers who are buying the boxes on you know, kind of one-off boxes, and I sense that everyone else is on subscription is kind of like, yeah, I can be chilled, I don't have to worry. Okay, just going to add a little bit more. And just get in all those crevices, and I think you just need to really work it and then get the excess off. I'm just gonna try to do something like that. Okay, that's not too bad. As I said, I'm definitely quite trained more trained in using actual resin, but this is quite cool. I like it. I like the moldability of it. Right, so I'm just gonna do that and very gently try to take it out. That's okay-ish, I guess. Would need a little trim here and there. That's not too bad. Consider it's the second attempt. Here we go. I would need to pop the little hole, but here we go. So yeah, that's my little demo. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you. Bye.